Good afternoon. I'm very pleased to be here to conclude this session about circular economy. You may be surprised and curious to see a bank like BNP Paribas present today something related to circular economy. I'm going to present you an initiative which derives from our traditional business, but which is much more sustainable and still profitable. But before that, I'd like to explain to you the convictions that we all have at BNP Paribas talking about sustainability. You have to know that 5 years ago, BNP Paribas integrated in its project for its strategy, integrated in his mission statement the fact that we wanted to contribute to a more inclusive and a more sustainable world. We integrate the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals in our project, and we've just signed a purpose which also integrates the fact that we clearly want to be sustainable. And at the same time, we believe that inclusion is something that is of great importance because the society is getting more and more difficult. And we believe that it is also very important that finance get involved in the inclusion of people. So you will see in the different stands when you go around the stand of l'ascenseur social, which is something that BNP Paribas supports because we believe that it is important to work on the inclusion of all diversity. We also believe that we can bring our financial experience to build new models, new developments, new economical solutions that are sustainable. And among those projects, you have the circular economy. So let me drill down into our project of circular economy. You might not be very familiar with the leasing business that I am heading. What I was not either when I took the responsibility of this business about 5 years ago. This is a business about financing the equipment of professionals. And we are dealing with very diverse type of companies, and we are financing very different types of assets. So you have here some of our clients. They are completely different, and we can finance tractors, harvesters, computers, dentist chairs, etc., etc. So all kinds of professional equipments. The important thing in leasing is that we continue to own the asset. So as we are still owner of the asset, we can work on the life cycle of the asset. We are a B2B2B business, and we are also working directly with some of the largest manufacturers of the world, like, I don't know if you know them, Kubota or CNHI, or also Apple or Oracle. So very large manufacturers with which we have some agreements in order to help them sell their equipment. So coming to the opportunity and the initiative of circular economy, you might wonder why is BNP Paribas in the circular economy business? And in order to answer this question, I'd like to step back a little bit and talk to you about our history. We started the company about 70 years ago So it's our 70th anniversary. And at that time, we were created in order to accompany the company and help them buy the equipment in a period of time where there were a lot of technological change and they wanted to renew regularly their equipment. And of course, at that time, nobody cared about sustainability, about waste, and about scarcity of natural resources. But today, things have changed, and everyone is really looking for new ways of consumption. We talked about circular economy, we talked about pay-per-use, we talked about different sharing aspects. All of these are well known by you. But among those topics is circular economy, and this is where we thought at Leasing Solutions that we could do something because we have the ownership of the asset. So our question was clearly how to build a new business model that would be based on circular economy. And for me, the answer came from two important relationships. The first one was Ellen MacArthur. So you may all know Ellen MacArthur, the very famous navigator who is completely upset about plastic waste in the ocean and who is fighting against plastic waste in the ocean. But this is only the visible part of it. In fact, what she's trying to do through her foundation is to mobilize the largest companies like Michelin, like Renault, like Danone, like BNP Paribas, in order for them to change completely their business model. My second relationship was a lady called Carmen Aîné, who is the CEO of 3-Step IT. I met her in an industry event, and we discussed together. She's the CEO of a company, which is a Finnish company, 20 years old, and they are working on financing, managing, refurbishing and reselling, especially IT devices like smartphones, tablets, computers, office equipment assets. And they are mostly based in the Nordics. And by talking together, we rapidly view that it was possible to join our force and to build something that would be very useful in terms of circular economy. They had, on one side, all the expertise about the asset value of the asset, and they also had the refurbishing center. And on our side, we had the funding, and we had the coverage of a very big bank, BNP Paribas. So we decided to join our force, and we've built a joint venture together, which is called BNP Paribas 3-Step IT, which is going to be able to propose their services and their products in 18 countries, European countries mostly, but also in the Nordics. And we, BNP Paribas, also took a stake of 13% in the parent company, 3-Step IT. So through that, we are going to be able to really extend the life of the IT devices. But you might wonder how it works concretely and how sustainable it is precisely. So how does it work concretely? It's just about what you know in terms of circular economy, and it's not just about recycling, but it's also about refurbishing, repairing, reuse, so all the R's that we are talking when we are talking about circular economy. And concretely, when we talk about the refurbishing center that they have in Finland, the idea is that they've put in place all the logistic chain that allows them to receive all the equipments. Then they make an inventory and measure and tag all the assets. they are able afterward to clean all the data on the IT devices, because it's very important to have completely clean data. They inspect the condition of the asset, and then afterward, they can be transferred to sale in order to be sold to other type of clients, like university or public sector. So it works pretty well, and this type of business allows to resell 97% of the devices that are collected through their logics exchange. So that's a very important number. And you may wonder, why is it so sustainable? It's clearly sustainable because the assets, instead of being used once, they can be used twice or 3 times. So it reduces significantly the carbon footprint of the device, because you may know that the largest part of the carbon footprint of the production of a device is at the beginning, when you manufacture it. So if you don't have to manufacture it, you reduce significantly the carbon footprint. And the analysis has been made that it could reduce the carbon footprint of this activity by 36%. So a very interesting business model with a high, I would say, economic utility and a low impact on the environment. And to finish, we are very pleased to say that this new business got the Solar Impulse Efficient Solution award. You had Bertrand Piccard about 1 hour ago talking about all the initiatives that get the criteria of Solar Impulse, and this business got the criteria, which is very demanding of Solar Impulse. So we are very pleased about it. Thank you very much.